Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me in this event. Thank you for viewing this video, those who will join us later. And with this, I would like to talk a little bit about this special day random act of kindness. Even if I knew about the name, personally, I knew about the name. I heard it, but I didn't understand what it was related. And when the day fell into, and I was planning to do a class on the 17th, but was mostly related to Valentine's Day and full moon. And then I checked history, what's significance about this date, the 17th of February, and I found this beautiful celebration, observance, the day, World Day of Kindness. As I said, it's only one day, random act of kindness, but I would like to have every day to be that we are able to generate enough energy to feel enough desire within ourselves to offer random act of kindness to everyone, not only on one specific day, but all year round. May me have this freedom to announce that 2022, we've been a lot during the last 2 years. Maybe there will be a year of kindness, not on one day. And that I will have my presentation, and we'll talk a little bit about the day itself, and of course, the drawing. The inspiration for this drawing class is a lotus, which is based on the technique known in NeuroGraphica as the NeuroLotus. And also I will explain the difference between regular drawings and NeuroArt or NeuroGraphic art, but most likely like NeuroArt. Because there are many questions in our group and in general, what makes the NeuroArt and NeuroGraphic art so specific? Random act of kindness. By definition, a random act of kindness is an unexpected act of charity and helpfulness that's often offered to strangers. This day seeks to encourage kindness within society, and by performing very simple, gracious acts. This day is observed every year on February 17th. It's celebrated by individuals, by groups, organizations worldwide to encourage acts of kindness. The Random Act of Kindness organization was founded by a small non-profit organization in 1995 in Denver, Colorado. And gradually, it was supported by other communities. In 2004, the day started getting observed in New Zealand. And after that, it spread to many European, Asian, and South American countries as well. So what's so specific about this day? And it could be found in many religion and spiritual tradition. Kindness is considered a core value to show concern for others, loved ones and strangers, without any expectation of reward. It's the idea of altruism. So how can it be observed? Do small things, like maybe pay for a person's coffee, or leave a kind note, or let somebody else do a better parking spot. Smile, and of course, it can be done for strangers and family alike. You can send greeting cards. You can sell simple handwritten notes. Anything that make a person feel better, to elevate the spirit. And how it shows in our personal life, being compassionate. It scientifically was proven that it helps not only the other person, but also the person who performs this act. So smile and kindness affects us within. And for this specific occasion, I've chosen to draw the lotus flower, the NeuroLotus techniques, and a very popular technique invented by Pavel Piskarev. And why about this lotus? Because it has such strong spiritual meaning in many cultures around the world, as well as many traditions. And it was celebrated mostly in Eastern, but now it's also celebrated as a sacred flower in many Western countries. So lotus flower meaning. They are beautiful, amazing flowers, and commonly associated with purity, fertility, compassion, transformation, and of course, spiritual awakening and enlightenment. The lotus flower can be compared in its presence in art only with the rose. And I couldn't help it to share one of my drawings. It's a red water lily that I painted a few years ago. It's called Serene Reflections, the name of this painting. The lotus flower is considered sacred and has many meanings. More particularly, it often relates to the flower of life because it shows the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. Lotus flowers are particularly represented in Buddhism and generally present spiritual awakening, purity, and faithfulness. And it represents the act of rising in spite of all the challenges towards the light and wisdom. And you know the lotus particular grows in muddy water, and then it rises above water and opens. In many other traditions, for example, in Hinduism, it's also the signs of purity, innocence, and fertility. They also are used in ceremonies. In ancient Egypt, the lotus was worshipped. It was considered the symbol of the sun, creation, rebirth, because it was opened during the day and then it descended and was hidden underwater and then it opened again. In Egypt, it's also known as a blue lotus, and it's also known by the name the water lily. And in Christianity, the lotus flower represents purity, transformation, transfiguration, and ascension into paradise, which is enlightenment. Colors are very specific. As you can see on this one, the white lotus. The white color is usually a symbol of purity, innocence, spiritual perfection, heaven, goodness. And that's why the white flowers and white lotus is so often used in spiritual ceremonies, religious and spiritual ceremonies. The red lotus, like any other red flowers, is a symbol of love, compassion, sacrifice, sometimes power, but mostly the matters of the heart and emotions. But lotus generally comes in more gentle colors, more towards pink rather than red, like some roses. And of course, the pink lotus, probably the most known. It symbolized tenderness, harmony, affection, and relaxation. And because it's a gentle color, it's also linked to femininity and gentle nature. And purple lotus or violet lotus are different shades of it. These magnificent colors are associated with royalty, wealth, wisdom, creativity, and dignity, like nobility. With also, I will encourage everyone, as we start our drawing, to use your drawings on spread this random act of kindness, this specific holiday or observance day in social media. So there are different tags, and you can also view online, and that's random of act kindness organization. With this, I will change my camera to our drawing room, and we will start with our drawing. Our regular drawing tools with a pencil. Most of my pencils are selected. They're related to pink color of like red. I would say that my color would be towards red color. You're welcome to draw any other colors because there are other lotuses and blue lotus and yellow lotus. They also have additional meaning. So you can choose any color you want for your lotus. And I will be drawing something like maybe reddish, a little bit purple, not red, but more like gentle red, similar to the color of my sweater today that I put on specific for this occasion. And before we start drawing the actual lotus, I would like to explain a little bit for those who are not sure about NeuroArt and NeuroGraphic Art. I know that those who are present, they're very much familiar with the NeuroGraphic Art now, but those who are going to watch us the first time, so to clear these questions and mystery about NeuroGraphic Art, or rather NeuroArt. So what makes NeuroGraphic Art different, NeuroArt? which is, when I say NeuroArt, it's based on NeuroGraphic Art. It has elements, distinct elements, like the NeuroGraphic line, rounding, as well as some elements of NeuroGraphica, like a formula that we're going. And as now many artworks appear online, and they're all labeled NeuroGraphic Art. And I have questions, what is NeuroGraphic Art? I would like to explain that the most visual characteristic is the line, the NeuroGraphic line, which doesn't repeat itself, and we extend where we do not expect to see it. It has a direction, but it's not a straight line. Also, this line, the element is a rounding when we see the line. So if we draw a straight line, like I drew right now, we can always add additional line, that's a NeuroGraphic line on top of it, and convert any line into the NeuroGraphic line. It's a rounding, which is a curving in the filled in. So there are no sharp corners. It has a meaning and has an explanation, which probably if anybody is interested, you can watch my other videos where I explain in more details about the line and the rounding. What's also important to know is that all the elements in NeuroGraphic Art, so we have one is the line, two is the rounding, as also connection of all the elements. It could be circles, it could be other figures, it could be flowers, hearts, spirals, or any other elements. But the line is also used for connecting all the elements. There is no separate elements in the NeuroGraphic Art or NeuroArt. Again, the line represents the consciousness, connection. So as you know, the explanation that everything is connected. Yes, it is connected, and we use this line to connect all the elements in our drawings. There may be thinner, thicker lines. There are also variation, wider, and why we create wider lines. And of course, the concept. All the NeuroGraphic Art is then using a theme, which is we use to address an issue or meet a challenge or answer a question to gain insight. So there's also we call it a theme, which is a topic of our drawing. It's not just art for art's sake, it could be, but typically classical NeuroGraphic Art and also NeuroArt is done with a theme, with the idea behind a drawing. And in this way, NeuroArt is conceptual art, where the symbol in it, as well as the artist, is more even important than the drawing itself, so that the meaning behind it is much more important. And of course, you can select visual elements like figurative art, like humans, hearts, flowers, animals, that also accepted in NeuroArt, in the specific, less in NeuroGraphic Art, because we're dealing more with abstract figures, but it's also accepted if it relates to your drawing or to, so for example, if you're drawing something to do with a heart or relationships, emotions, heart is a good symbol to include. I don't know, it's just an example. Or if you're thinking about transformation and freedom, you may see the elements of butterflies with metamorphosis of a butterfly, of a caterpillar transformed into a butterfly. So that's typically elements and objects are connected to the drawing itself. And it could be much more complicated drawing, but that's something else. So that's the most apparent differences between that exist in NeuroGraphic Art, and also the formula. If probably you know the basic algorithm is the formula that used to create neurographic drawing. And it's also present in NeuroGraphic Art and includes 7 steps from selecting a theme, basic algorithm, and it's also formula. And the some steps that we're going to use today, and as we're drawing, I will explain them. Okay, so with this, I think we can start our drawing. So, and I will start with the lotus. Please select just about the center of the page. And also, I would like you to, if we're talking about the theme, think about the topic that you concern today. I would like to, because we're drawing with the idea of the random act of kindness day, I would like to dedicate my drawing to generate within myself, to raise, to gather good feelings like care, compassion, to grow them while I'm drawing the flower, and then send it to like a message to the universe or specific people. So you can use this model, this technique, as something you would like to develop, or you can follow my idea of this day and to draw with the idea of sharing good qualities, good feelings, good vibes with the world, with those who are close to you and the world in general. So I will think about, as my color indicates, that some probably say kindness, compassion in general. And with this idea, I will select the point approximately in the center of the page that will represent me as a person, as an individual, and of course as my own ego, and how it could be transformed and helped in this particular instance. And I can select a small circle around it. And every circle suggests a certain development in this lotus flower. The first stage is called the seed. That's how everything starts. And from the seed, I will draw to make sure that you have space when you draw for 5 circles. Approximately 5 circles will be 5 levels. Like this one will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So every circle will represent something, development. And I will draw like simple petals that when the seed starts awakening and developing. You know, especially with this time, with the springtime, when the blossom, when you can see buds starting growing and almost ready to open, some flowers, some leaves. So the stage of development stage, a growth, when the seed awakens. And I will, and I draw this kind of shapes that represent lotus leaves. So lotus leaves could be like something symbolic like this. They could be a little bit longer, but the shape is about like a petal. So when I'm thinking and gathering and the energy, I can start drawing neurographic lines around, convert these petals into neurographic drawing right away. So this is the first circle, represents the seed. We can also draw more neurographic lines within this circle, try to gain some more energy and even insight at this level. And the second one, is the fruit. No, the fruit is not the final fruit, because there are two different stages, but also of it's called sometimes the fruit of life. It's where life really begins. We can see the first appearance of this life, new life. So if it's easy for you, you can rotate the drawing. Interesting, I have only 4. So you can convert into neurographic lines if you use sketch lines, like with a marker. You can convert into neurographic lines right now, or just do it later. And this third stage is the stage where really we can, it's like this process of growth. It's still under development, like a seed is just starting. And the next stage is actually the shoot, when it appears above the ground. So everybody can see it now. It's the first manifestation in the world. So if before that was only within us, this one, the first one that appears outside. So, and I draw more petals. At the same time, we reflect what happens when you may hold in mind in your theme that you're drawing right now, or you may not, or may just relax and forget about it. So we have the first intention, what we're drawing, and our subconscious mind remembers. So, and the most interesting, that's the next level. It's probably the flower, when we can see the first growth, that our flower that starts growing. It's not only a shoot, but it starts growing into a tree. So if you can relate to one of my previous workshop tutorials, we were drawing the tree from a seed. That could be related, but it's a very similar concept, but it just represented as a lotus, NeuroLotus, as a flower. So that should start growing into something stronger. So there are no results yet. Results will appear only in the next level. This is again, this is growth above the level ground. So if you, with respect to NeuroGraphica and the step that we're still working on the step 2, where structuring is the structure, it's a composition. We're working on the composition. And the final level is stage 5, when the tree that grew from that seed start giving flowers and then fruit. And fruit that's what we can use, it could be used by others. The result of all this grows. So if you feel like you may add more petals that are not restricted by the size, by the quantity of them. And this is the level when we experience the results of our actions in the world, and when we're ready to give. We grew enough, our feelings, our emotions are strong enough that we can share with others. And this is most probably important. The result of our efforts. So when the process from the growth from the seed to the tree. So that's like a cycle of life. There was a seed, now it grew into a tree that also has fruit and can produce that bear seeds. So that's this level symbolizes the results. And with this, this will in general complete our composition with the addition. And I would like at this stage just to draw neurographic lines around the petals. So with this model and with some other models in NeuroGraphica, specific circular shaped like mandala, we draw from the center. So every line represents as coming from within us. So in NeuroGraphica is important not only what we draw, but also the direction of our line. So if from within, it's from the center, from the core, we draw the lines outside. This meaning that we share with others. We're giving it to the world. So, and so I got first line. And if you feel that you have enough strength, we may add also figures outside, but let's draw a few lines coming from the center that symbolize our energy that we radiate from within, from ourselves. Because in all its traditions, we can't receive anything before we give. And sometimes it could be erroneous assumption that when we get something, we will be able to share. We have to start from love. Love means care. So when we share our care, when we care, then we give, means that we give. And then when we give, we're able to receive. So at the same time, I can draw more lines and It's only now it's self-reflection. I know it's self-reflection. Only now when I started drawing the lines coming from the center to the outside of the circle, I started feeling something else, more like a state of maybe calm, relaxed confidence. At the same time, you can start rounding if you find like some sharp corners. Also, I outline all the petals, making these simple lines that were my sketch lines into neurographic lines. So the stage of the basic algorithm 2, three, when we start rounding, it's also combined, could be combined with drawing the neurographic lines and adding rounding. So following the formula as known in NeuroGraphic Art, called the basic algorithm. So when I send my good vibes, whatever feeling I generated within, and I helped to accumulate and generate with the result of this drawing, with my intention, I direct it outside to the others. And who are these others? Now I can think about it. What happens outside of me? And you can draw figures like, that represent. It could be circles, it could be hearts, it could be any figure that reminds you what you have a close, strong association with whom you direct in this love. Love, care, good feelings. So I would say that of course, I will direct it to like a close one, my family. And it's very nice. I can see here, it's almost like I convert, just to indication, I convert it into heart. A very nice drawing just here. The shape. Think with whom you would like to share your energy, the good vibes, good feelings. Today is day of kindness, World Kindness Day. So I would like to send it to my I would say spiritual teacher. Maybe it's not the right way to say, but for simplicity, I will describe like this. So again, I draw more lines from the center, and I outline, draw more neurographic lines. And I round at the same time. Not everything, but I would say sharp corners, especially sharp. And with rounding, do as much as you feel comfortable. If you want to have calm effect, more relaxation, more calmness, please do more rounding. If not, that's fine. Okay. Some rounding is good, but not every corner has to be rounded, softened. Some sharpness is good. Especially in this drawing, because we're not dealing with any conflict, any issues. And I would like to send also my feelings to people. You know that in Europe there is a situation, unpleasant situation, and possible escalation of indication of a possibility of military conflict. And I would like just to send my feelings towards this. Again, I'll draw a heart. Today the hearts were still close to Valentine's Day, to those countries and people in general, especially that I grew up in that country. So it was very different when I was growing. There was no visible even idea that such a conflict can emerge between the Russian and Ukrainian. It was just unthinkable. So I think I will send just good feelings to support to any country, anywhere where there is difficulties. I know it's not possible, but I would just would like to contribute my energy to people who, peaceful people, civilians who suffer from any conflict that threatens their life. So a little bit, a few more lines, and I think I would like, before my composition is complete with this, how much I would like to share. So probably I would like to send just to, in general, to those who suffer from a pandemic in general. It's been like 2 years since the world changed, and I just hope that we'll emerging from that crisis, health crisis, and I would like to send a little bit of my energy with the idea that life will be normal, new normal, of course. There will be much more online, but at least we'll be safe to travel and safe to greet strangers and safe to smile. not safe. So we will not safe to smile, but we can see each other's smiles again in real life. So just so I add another heart here. So of course you can have your own ideas. You can add more hearts, more. You can add more circles if you feel comfortable, but whatever figure is appropriate. Also, with another neurographic, not a trick, but suggestion. So if you feel like you need more feelings of security and safety, because this flower represents you, like an avatar of some of your feelings. You can add circles if you to feel more secure and soft, like better. You can just add a few circles, only if you feel like. But circles in general is a very nice small figure to include, and I wouldn't mind including maybe some for a complete picture. Just to support my ideas by by including and harmonious figure, like more symmetrical. They could be smaller, larger. So there are many shapes and corners here. So what I would think that that could be done. If you feel like you need more time, you can definitely continue later. Oh, that's nice round shape. Maybe I can add it here. In relation to NeuroGraphica, to basic algorithm, the formula, those lines that we drew from here, from the center of a figure and outside, represents our connection with the world. So the step is called integration, when we integrate the figure and the environment, which is in this case is represented by our page. So the next step in integration is also called coloring. So we unite the drawing using colors. So and probably the colors that you choose, if I was drawing a lotus, I will start, of course, with the colors that are associated with the lilac pink, probably pink, reddish pink lotus. So I have various colors of these shades, and I will start with maybe with pink as a color of harmony, compassion, maybe not strong. So traditionally we use pencils in NeuroGraphica. If you feel like, you can use pastel, some other colors, or watercolors, or any other paint. It's like a free class, so you can choose any any painting medium you would like. By the way, these watercolor pencils, and I like using them because it's very easy to create a nice transition with the colors using watercolor. So first I apply colors like randomly and choose whether it feels good or not, whether this color works for me or not, or I would like to add some other colors. Like I did, maybe wouldn't mind a bright color, like a sunshine. Actually, you remember that the color that has yellow center. Every lotus flower has where its seeds appear. So I'm trying different colors and see which one works better. It's more like representing the idea I like. And I like leaving, especially with colors, some white areas and smaller, like showing the light that radiates together with the colors. And the white light, the white color is the color of the combination of all the other colors. I wonder what if I include a little bit of save it to see what if the world around me, just to introduce a different color. I'll see the effect. Just to make the lotus stand out more. So, and of course, on the surrounding could be a different color, like a green. I select green, bluish, to make the red lotus stand out more, as I kind of by using contrast. And at the same time, I'm reflecting. So what's going on in me? How I'm feeling? How I'm experiencing this flower, this drawing. First, it's a symmetrical drawing. You can rotate it. I will rotate it so I can color it. I have this. I like this the old pencil, I have this beautiful pink color. It's very gentle. It's a watercolor. So then I use it for the heart. A little bit of red, the hearts. So then, if anybody is using watercolor pencils, I have two sets of watercolor pencils. So some are very good quality, and some are regular quality, like not such a great quality. So, and I found that it's easy to manage for the NeuroGraphica specifically the quality that's not great, because this one's good quality. They behave exactly as watercolor, which is not easy to manage in NeuroGraphica. I mean, and this not such a great quality. They leave pencil marks, and they work really well with NeuroGraphica, NeuroGraphic drawing. So the one that's the good quality is Faber-Castell, Albrecht Dürer, and the other one not such a good quality is Montmartre. I don't know whether they even come from. And the Faber-Castell have two. These are like medium quality, and these are very good quality, professional quality. For this medium quality is better. I found that NeuroGraphic works better. We're getting closer to the end. So the next step, then I would like to, and we continue with a formula, the basic algorithm. So what else makes a drawing? The field lines. Field lines is a concentration, the energy, that universal energy that we address, that we want to ask to help us, ask for help. So we're aligning our effort with universal energy. And that's probably done, but the lines are quite thick. So and quite often in my NeuroGraphic, like NeuroArt classes, like free classes like this one, I do not use it. So not to leave the drawing more as a artistic drawing, I do not include it. I do not draw these lines. But for this explanation, I will show that, and that's very appropriate for this specific drawing, to indicate the field lines that are, again, they radiate from the center that I'm acting. I'm sending my energy, and I ask this universe to support me in this act of kindness. So the lines and field lines are stronger, wider. They're also neurographic lines, but they are not as curvy, and they're also connected with the rest of the drawing. So it needs to be intersections have to be rounded. Where this line, field line, crosses other lines, it has to be rounded, and this indicates the connection to other lines. So it makes it integrates with all the other lines. So now probably for this, I would think that I am using my intuition, and I think that will be 3 lines. So these field lines could be aligned, and they go, and follow the existing lines, but they can be also on their own. Like for example, or part of them could be on the lines, just cover the existing lines. Some of them could be independent. So on the step 6 and the formula, it's always about like what the focus of this drawing, what visual focus, and it also contains the answer and resolution. Well, in this case, I would say that the drawing, the figure is probably most important. The lotus flower itself, and I will use the lines, I outline, make it a little bit stronger. The petals become, use wider lines so they stand out more among the other lines. And again, I will use NeuroGraphic line. I will outline. Probably after I will deal with colors. Because what happens in this case, especially with using watercolor pencils, I do not know how all these markers behave, because some of them are water-based, some of them are alcohol-based. I will do the coloring, and then I will outline on top of it, on top of the existing lines and colors. Oh, I feel like I would like to color again. More color, of course, and yes, coloring is my favorite stage. And once I start, I cannot stop, and I color and color. And that's with a pencil. It's such a pleasure because it takes such a long time, and just you work and more with colors. So it's much longer process. It actually is more precise process comparing to other. And I layer different colors. Make it like a 3-dimensional appearance. And So, and the final step in our drawing is when we reflect. We review our theme, that the one was used to start with our drawing, and ask ourselves, so what now? What I'm feeling with respect to my theme? What changed? The idea of this day that didn't exist for me even a few days ago, and the last few days I started thinking, but overall I feel like stronger. And even the fact that I'm giving like free class, that's also one of the part of this entire project. So if anyone, and this gives me like idea that I'm participating, in a way I'm participating in this, the entire idea of making our world a better place with a small effort. But we start with ourselves, and that will be, and the more people get influenced by it, the better. So I don't know, maybe my short class, small class that I will touch others, other hearts. I don't know. So we'll see. So we'll be see by the number of likes and reflection overall. And also I have a suggestion. If you can feel like sharing your drawings, I will write to this organization, foundation, Random Act of Kindness, and see if we can share our drawings with them. So if you like this idea and we would like you to support me, you're welcome to contact me and write, and we can send drawings together, or we'll have some, they probably have a website, or they have a website, maybe they have a Facebook page. So maybe we can post drawings there. So if you like this idea, let's do this project together. So on the overall, I feel like a more relationship with this day and the act, in specific act, which I didn't think about it. I didn't know, and I didn't think about it at all. So it became present in my system, and of course I will support this cause and continue for the rest of the year. So, and this will probably complete our class for today, and I will post my completed drawing, and it will be included in the final video, but I will post it separately in our group. In our group, I mean, if anybody who is not in the group on Facebook page, that's the group that NeuroGraphic Art and Life. So I will work on my drawing later, and I will share with later. And with this, I'll turn my camera, and we can talk a little bit more face to face. I hope this, for those who are new, I explained enough to give an understanding about the difference between neurographic art or NeuroArt and any other art. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of the day or evening and week.